The company DHL is one of the largest air cargo airports in the world. And why are they seeking to unionize? I am so glad you asked. A former manager at one of DHL's largest facilities claims a fellow manager or fellow managers refer to workers as inmates and themselves as wardens of a prison in conversations about how to stop a union organize and drive at the site. This is coming from The Guardian. Thank you, Michael, for this reporting. Now, let me tell you something. If you're referring to the people who work for you, work with you as inmates, and you think you are a warden, you need not be in a management position. That gets it started all wrong from the beginning. It is definitely the wrong mindset to have when it comes to employees and those people who supervise the people who actually work with them. Now, here's more about what the former manager went through. Ryan Doyen has worked at DHL for about 5 years and was promoted to a manager position as a ramp lead on the DHL Express Ramp. He said he resigned from management at the logistics company's Super Hub and returned to an hourly position after hearing the responses and attitudes of other managers towards his co-workers once a union organize and drive ramped up at the site. And you know what, Ryan is the kind of person that we need to be a manager, but certainly we can understand why he didn't want any parts of that leadership nonsense. Kudos to him. And he went on to say, I kept hearing ill speaking of the hourly workers or hourly employees. Then one day I overheard a conversation between two managers that they needed to take back the hub that they referred to as a prison, and that they are the wardens taking back the prison from the inmates. On that note, I did not want to be a part of management anymore because I couldn't idly sit by and allow managers to speak ill of the people I called my friends and colleagues. It didn't sit right with me as a human being. You better go ahead and say that, Ryan. Now, afterwards, he started speaking with union organizers and getting involved in the union effort. The Teamsters are unionizing for other reasons, such as DHL workers pushing for job security, representation at disciplinary hearings, improved pay and benefits, a voice on safety issues and working conditions. This is the same thing that most workers, no matter what field they're in, these are the types of things that workers are asking for, and this is not unreasonable. Now, more about the company DHL. DHL employs about 3,000 workers at the CVG Global Hub, with 900 workers currently seeking to form a union with Teamsters Local 100. And the work isn't easy either. The work is dangerous and grueling. Dangerous and grueling, with workers subjected to extreme temperatures in the summer and winter months, often without air conditioning or heating in vehicles. Now, sisters and brothers, family and friends, this is wrong and we know it. And we've heard other shipping type companies make references to those same types of working conditions, which actually no one should be facing in the 21st century in America. Now, another employee stated, as hourly employees, we've been referred to as inmates by managers. The phrase used was they are the ones taking back the ramp from the inmates. We're just not respected out there. We don't have the dignity and respect in the workplace that we deserve, and people are getting fed up with it. And that's coming from Stephen Fightmaster. What an excellent last name. When asked about the inmates' comments, a spokesperson for DHL did not directly address the allegations. So here we are, Jackson. Workers are rising up all over this country. They are realizing that they don't have to take insufficient and cruel work conditions. And really kudos to Ryan for saying, I mean, he gave up a promotion. He said, I don't want any parts of this.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think one of the things that's happening right now, well, first, we're going to continue to see more workers push for unionization across a plethora of industries. Well, one thing that's happening right now is there was a time when de-unionization wasn't as big of a deal because the economy was better. But now that's really not the case. And so people are feeling the pain a whole lot more. It's rough out here. Workers are incredibly replaceable. And to the point where, I mean, like if you, and this is coming from somebody, I don't have a college degree. So if you don't have a college education plus really a nice network who can just kind of put you in a job, you might be spending months or years looking for something decent if you don't want to work at a shoe store or at the mall somewhere. And so much to the point where even if you're making six figures, depending on where you live, you can make $100,000+. You can make $200,000. But if you lose that job, you might instantly be broke because your bills are too much. You got to pay you got to pay for X, Y, and Z. So we're going to see more workers push for unionization because in a lot of ways, it's the only way the working class can survive moving forward. Otherwise, it's just profits for the managerial class and nothing more, to the point where they're calling them inmates. It's like, just think about the culture that is. They really don't have any regard for the workers who make everything possible.
No, they don't, Jackson. And whether or not that managerial class realizes it or not, they are part of the working class. And I say this often, I'll continue to say it, unless you got a sugar mama, sugar daddy, or sugar somebody, or
how long is that gonna last?
Right, you're part of the working class. Right. And so just because you got an extra fancy title does not mean that you're better than the people that help you with the extra fancy title make it happen for that company. It should be unacceptable, and whoever is over those managers should be embarrassed and disgusted that anything like this is bubbling up and try to do something about it. But if they are not, it is because they don't want to see these workers unionized. Now, union support in this country is on the rise. Jackson made a very good point. When times are good, maybe people felt like they didn't need a union, but union support is on the rise in this country. And I would say that we always need unions because workers need the opportunity to come together and collectively bargain, to be able to sit across the table from management and collectively bargain for benefits, for wages, and for work conditions. So DHL, your employees, please, y'all keep the faith and keep the fight. And Jackson, now ain't nothing wrong with the mall workers now.
Oh, nothing, ain't nothing wrong with it. But just in terms of between that and like a career level position that's gonna come with a salary and benefits, like it can be difficult to get in a spot like that. But you're 100% right. Even people in the managerial class, they're still part of the working class. Just because you have a fancy title really doesn't mean much. So the Bill Clinton era is gone. The 90s where it was great for Democrats can be a little more corporate because everybody has savings.
Oh Lord,
those days are over. So yeah.
Yeah, no, kudos for those workers. So we're gonna keep you up to date on this story, and no employee should be called inmates, and managers who think that they are wardens, they need a new job. So DHL leadership, y'all need to go ahead and get your folks and get that place cleaned out and answer the cries and the pleas of your workers that make DHL pop every single day.